Well, hello, my name is Mary Slone, and I'm an English teacher at Floyd Central High School here in Floyd County. And I'm also a master practitioner with the global organization Narrative 4. And I'm just here to share with you some updates and, as the title says, some genuinely amazing things that have been happening since KVEC and Narrative 4 has partnered up to create this Appalachian cohort. And as always, I always like to share what Narrative 4's vision is so that other teachers can really see how this program can be so firmly embedded in your schools because the focus is on young adults and really how they can be equipped and emboldened to improve their lives, their communities, and the world. And as you're going to see, those things have actually been happening on a pretty impressive level, even considering the fact that we're in a pandemic. I would like for you to see here, these are the teachers and the counties that have been represented when last spring we put together a very rigorous process for people to apply to be a part of this first cohort that we have created through that partnership that I mentioned between Narrative 4 and KVEC. And I do want to pause for a moment and say how grateful I am that this organization did not say, this is not the time for something like this because of a pandemic. And it is so empowering and so hopeful to be a part of a group that says, even in challenging times, let's think why not, and then let's think how. So I do want to thank KVEC and all the members who have supported me and this process. So here we are, Empathy Appalachia, with this cohort. And since I last spoke to you all at the Fire Summit in the spring, many things have happened. First of all, those members of the cohort, not only have they participated in several hours of online trainings so that they could be facilitators for Narrative 4 Story Exchange, they've also participated in virtual story exchanges, not only with one another, but several opted to even participate with people around the world. And even though this pandemic has presented many challenges, each school and each one of the teachers really, because of the way the program is run, they get to determine when is going to be the best time to implement some of these strategies and under what circumstances. And I would like to give a shout out right now to Sabrina O'Brien and Lindsay Patrick, because literally they have taken Johnson County by storm. The second graders at Flat Gap Elementary have already participated in a virtual story exchange. And based on the just success of that experience, they've already planned to have this intra-grade level exchange between third graders and sixth graders. So I cannot wait, because they are really blazing a path in the elementary school program. So give a huge shout out to these ladies. In addition, one of the things that's happened is the Empathy Eats Cookbook. Now, I have also put a link on here for anyone who would like to revisit last November when the Holler Boys came out to Floyd Central, and they participated, ate some good food, I have to say, and also filmed an experience that we had with our sister school in the Bronx, and that is University Heights High School. And what we did at that time is the kids actually traded recipes that were important to them. They cooked each other's food. We got together. We showed each other the dishes that had been made. And we also shared the stories that made those dishes so special to us. And what Narrative 4 did is they compiled those recipes and they put them in this cookbook. And if anybody would like a copy, you just let me know and I can send you that email. I can send it to you via email. And I am not joking when I put on here that we have learned how to fix plantains in a myriad of ways. So in addition to that experience, we have also continued this relationship that we have with University Heights High School in the South Bronx. And typically what would happen is since we're involved in this relationship and we have what's called field exchanges, they would come and visit us in Kentucky. We would go visit them. But the pandemic has altered that aspect of our relationship, but it has not altered our relationship because we actually finished the summer really strongly with having our students meet weekly. They have been on Zooms with authors like Colin McCann and Ishmael Bea. We even had students who represented Kentucky, represented Floyd Central to the board of directors for Narrative 4. And it was profound to watch these young women as they shared their experiences. And literally, I'm not even speaking in hyperbole, which sometimes I am prone to do, but they inspired tears in the members of that global group just because of the empathy and the leadership that they had shown. And there is probably not a Kentucky teacher who has not heard of the Where I'm From poems. And as a program, we were able to let our students write those to really capture the flair of what it means to be in Southeastern Kentucky and also what it means to be in the South Bronx. But we took it a step further. We actually created those poems into we had the students create a new entity in that we did poems for two voices, that they actually came together and they tied their poems together in such beautiful, beautiful ways. And even as we speak right now, plans are already in the works for this continued partnership. And we're getting people on board. We're having applications go out. And you just wait until the next summit, and you're just going to prepare to be amazed even more. I would like to also share with you two things that we participated in this summer. And Narrative 4 typically does a global summit, and I've been blessed to be able to attend 3 of those. And this summer, like most things, it became a virtual event. So I would love to invite everyone who is listening to this to either click on the McGrawray link and you can find out what happened in that experience. But to sum it up, it was a 3-day experience where we had students from our school who helped to plan, who helped to facilitate, and who even participated in a variety of events that really focused on race and identity in this country. And I was blessed to be able to participate. And my partner was none other than Ishmael Bey himself, which was a little intimidating, but he is so gracious that that was a tremendous experience. The follow-up activity, was really the culminating activity, was this event called Synchronicity. And it was actually taken from my 80s people. It was taken from the song by the Police and Sting called Synchronicity. And it was only appropriate that he is the person who actually led this event from the beginning. And I'll tell you what, I put the link on here so you could watch the entire YouTube experience if you want to. But to hear Sting say something about coal mining and then say, well, here, let me take you to a student from Southeastern Kentucky named Katie Stumbo, it blew my mind. And it was absolutely amazing. It was global. It was teachers and students, and it was authors and musicians. Highly recommend that you watch. And then you will be able to get a sense of the soul of what Narrative 4 is really all about. And if that were not enough to really get the old fires flamed up and burning, Colin McCann, who is the co-founder of Narrative 4 and who's also a National Book Award winner, he had a novel that came out in February that is called A Paragon. And I highly recommend that you read this if you can. It is an amazing achievement. It's moving, and it's this very strangely written novel in cantos. And he actually asked if I would be willing to create learning modules for the novel so that it could be used not only in schools here, but really in schools around the United States and even the world. And I agreed, didn't even think about what I was getting into. It's been a very humbling and rewarding experience. And I was so inspired by the work that I was doing with the Paragon that when I found out that I was teaching ninth grade for the first time in, I don't know, 15 years, that was not really a pre-AP class, I was inspired to create an entire curriculum around this novel. And not only have I been teaching it, but also one of my coworkers and someone who's also trained as a narrative 4 facilitator, Sonia Slone. We've been working in tandem in 2 different classrooms with our freshman classes. And we're talking, this is integrated freshman classes. And it has been phenomenal. The conversation that has happened, the complex thinking, the thought processes. I mean, it has been crazy phenomenal. And next week, we're actually going to be doing a virtual discussion with Colin McCann. He has agreed to meet with both classes because he's just been so moved about the students' response to his novel. So highly recommend. And if anybody's interested in learning more about that curriculum, you just let me know and I can hook you up. And as you can see here, anything that you would like to know that you're intrigued about, if it's how to be involved in Narrative 4, if it's what the cohort's about, if it's the experiences that my students are having with University Heights. I mean, you all, it's in the works right now that I have some students who are going to be doing a story exchange with students in Ireland. The sky is truly the limit when it comes to Narrative 4. And when you add KVEC on top of that, then what happens is we empower the people of our own communities to be able to not only make a difference here and see that they do have a voice and they have all the possibility and potential in the world, but then they get to know it and then they get to share it. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for listening and to also thank Narrative 4 and KVEC one more time.